Kukoc.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I got a very special guest in the house. I already told him before we started this interview. He is next to Michael Jackson and some of my favorite singers, the voice of my childhood, Ray Clay, former announcer of the Chicago Bulls, the great voice. How you doing, man?
Hey, Sean. Good to see you. How are you?
Good, man. We already talked a little bit before the interview, so I did all my praising you and everything before the interview, so don't worry, fans. I already took care of that. Did you already have that style that you are known for today? Was that already right from the beginning? Like when you guys worked on your style, was that how you entered in? I think it was 1990 when you had the regular job.
Well, I actually started in 1980. And I worked at the University of Illinois in Chicago, and I started doing PA announcing for their basketball team in 1980. So, basically I had 10 years experience announcing college basketball, which closely resembles the NBA. There's some rule differences and things like that. But, when I announced college, I said, I want the game to be fun. So I tried to do fun things with my announcing and things like that. And, in mirroring the Bulls, we had an introduction song that we had. So, we played the music, and, I don't remember if I did the and now, or I would have to find an old tape or something to see if I did that. But, I introduced the visitors from the college that we were playing against, and then I introduced our starters. And that's basically what I sent into them as an interview tape. And that's, where things progressed from there.
Interesting. When was the point when you realized, like, oh, okay, people really, really love my voice, and people really, really feel that I'm a big part of the Bulls mystery, or Bulls I want to say hysteria.
Well, that first year that I announced, I came in right before the playoffs, and that was the year that we lost to Detroit in the Eastern Conference Finals. And we got through that game, and it was so close; it could have went either way at the end.
That was the migraine game, huh?
Yeah, we ended up losing that game, and one of the Bulls staff said, "Hey, you know what? This is going to be a lot of fun next year." He says, "I think we've got all the pieces in place, and I think we're going to, have a good chance of winning the championship next year." So, the first year that I announced those playoffs, ABC, the American Broadcasting Company in Chicago, announced those games, and they really didn't do the starting lineups. They wanted to get to the game and go. The next year, NBC got the bid to announce the games, and Marv Albert and various different people, Ahmad Rashad, and those guys, they thought that the introductions were special, and they thought that would be a great lead-in because the Bulls had a good season. The Bulls were projected to win the championship, and they just started featuring me with the starting lineups, and it was like, okay.
Right place at the right time, huh?
Yeah, Ray, sit there until we cue you. When we cue you, then you start. And, sometimes it's hard because, we had the music, and there was a certain lead into the music before I started my announcement. And it took a little bit to get a coordination between NBC and the Bulls staff to make sure that we got the full effect of the starting lineup.
Yeah. Oh, man. I was always wondering that this question comes from the 12-year-old Sean David. Who of the players did you get along with, or who of the players is probably the one guy that you had the most contact to?
Well, it really wasn't contact with the players. My my philosophy was, the players have enough on their plate. There's enough people that want to get next to them and want to be their friend and their buddy. I'm an employee. I work for the Bulls. I do the best I can. I'd see the players in the hall, and people would say hi, and things like that. I announced Michael Jordan in the starting lineup more than anybody ever did in Michael Jordan's career.
Yes.
So, I would have to say, Michael would be a guy. But again, I wasn't somebody who, hey, Michael, what are we doing tonight? Where are we going? It's like, nope.
Okay,
but got enough going on.
I'm 100% sure that Michael still appreciated how you look. Michael Jordan was a cool cat anyways, but coming in with your voice and this from North Carolina, 6'6" at guard, Michael Jordan. Seriously, how cool you got to feel as a Michael Jordan when you hear that voice, that music, the crowd is going loud. Like, if I was Michael Jordan, I would give you a huge hug after every single game, man.
Well, the funny thing was, people said that the folks in the stadium probably couldn't hear me say Michael Jordan because it was so loud.
Yes, I can imagine.
The people on TV got the benefit of having a microphone and, getting a direct feed that came out of my mouth, where, the people who were in the building was, what did he say?
Yeah, I can imagine. It always on television, at least in Germany, when we saw the televised games, it was also difficult to understand the Michael Jordan part because the crowd level from the player before Jordan to Jordan, it rise so high. But hey, that made it even more special. Now, I told you before the interview that I just found out in preparing for the interview that when you had to leave the Bulls, the reason why you had to leave, or let's say the situation was that Jordan was playing for the Wizards, and at least correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I
right.
The internet, that you wanted to announce Michael Jordan the usual way, which you should do. And the Bulls front office said, no, we don't like that idea. Just announce him as any other player. And at that created attention and was basically like the last what were you calling it? The last move that got everything into motion.
Well, I think that, with my leaving the Bulls, I think, we had talked a little bit about the celebrity that I had developed, not intentionally, but it just, it came from my job and what I did. And I think that the Bulls management was angry that a sports writer would come up to me and say, hey, Ray, Michael Jordan's coming on, such and such a day. You got a game. How are you going to announce Michael Jordan? So there's how do I answer that? My answer was, well, nobody's told me. Michael Jordan was the best player that's ever played in Chicago. The guy's got a statue out in front.
Yes.
I said, so I would think that we're going to give Michael Jordan the introduction that we've always given Michael Jordan. And all of a sudden, the sports writer who I spoke with went back and talked to somebody on the PR staff, and they said, oh, so we hear that, you're going to announce Michael Jordan like you always announce Michael Jordan. And somebody said, well, we haven't decided what we're going to do yet. Mm-hmm. So somebody comes up to me and says, why did you answer that question? I said, as a person who does the announcing, nope, you didn't tell me what you wanted to do. So I assumed that we were going to announce Michael Jordan like we always announce Michael Jordan. And they said, no, Michael Jordan's a visitor. We're going to announce Michael Jordan like we announce every other visitor. So, we announced the Washington Wizards, and, had a guard from North Carolina, 6'6", Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan came out. He got a 2.5 minute standing ovation, even with an introduction like that.
Yes, of
so
course.
we had to hold off. We had to hold off starting the Bulls introduction music until the crowd quieted down enough so that, we could go into the home team's introductions.
Yeah, but what were they expecting? I mean, it's logical.
I just think it was, here's Ray Clay. He had no business saying that, which I agree with them. I didn't have any business. I should have chose my words a little bit better, but, you're getting ready to start the game and somebody comes up to you and, says, hey, Michael Jordan's coming next week. How can you introduce him? And I'm going, I don't know. I said, I would assume we're going to give him the regular Michael Jordan. So they said, we don't want you talking to any press. Well, all of a sudden the story gets out that, that I did that. And I get a phone call from another sports writer the next day. And he says, Ray, what's all of this dust up about, the introduction of Michael Jordan? And I go, I can't say anything. I was told that I don't need to comment on it. And this sports writer who was a little bit under the skin of some of the people on the Bulls just kept pressing and pressing, did they tell you not to say anything? I said, I can't comment, tell me, do you really want it? I can't comment. So all of a sudden I get another phone call, later that day. What are you doing talking to so-and-so? I go, he called me, what do you want me to do? All my answers to him were, I can't comment, So the season ended. I went out for lunch with one of the staff guys and, he broke the news to me that they were going to not have me back the following year. And I go, okay, life goes on. But the funny thing was the next year when Michael Jordan came to the Bulls as a Washington Wizard, they gave him the full Michael Jordan, and he got like a 5-minute standing ovation, with the full from North Carolina thing. So,
oh wow,
that's the way it goes. But luckily for me, when Michael Jordan was ready to play his last game, Philadelphia called me, and they said, we really feel bad that you didn't have a chance to, give Michael Jordan his due. This is his last game. We think that it would be perfect for you to come and give Michael Jordan his farewell. So flew me out to Philly, and, the fifth guy all of a sudden, from North Carolina. And, it was fantastic. Michael came over, gave me a big hug. He said, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And that was the cherry on top of the sundae.
Yeah. Nice. Well, Ray, I told you before, I'm going to tell you on air again. We as fans appreciate a lot what you have done. You were a big part of the event, which was the Chicago Bulls. And if it wasn't for your voice, I'm 100% sure if it was another guy who would have done your job, it still would have been special once the game started. But believe me, I never would have rushed to the television to make sure I never missed the introduction. So thank you very much for all the fine memories. I appreciate it.
Oh, glad to do it, Sean. Glad to have memories out there.